WNBA has been trending for a lot of things recently, and we're gonna look at two clips, one from the ESPYS, and then also one related to the WNBA wants to get paid more.
Yeah, let's do it. And I just want to call out again the Black Phoenix podcast talks about the WNBA a lot, more so than these other ones do. So, yeah, give us our credit. We out here doing the damn thing.
It's funny though. Even though we do talk about it a lot, there's still a bunch of other channels out there that talk about it more. So we gotta start moving a little bit differently. So, anyways, we're gonna look at a clip from the ESPYS, which I've been I've been aware of this guy. I just didn't know that was his name. So, Mr. Shane Gillis. All right.
More time WNBA All-Star Brittany Hicks is here. Give it up for Brittany, everybody. I'm joking around. That's my friend's wife. I knew none of you knew WNBA players. That's crazy. You clap for that.
Which is absolutely true. A lot of these people sitting in that audience, they don't know anything. I mean, she probably knew about it as soon as he mentioned it though. But a lot of these people that pretend to be these freedom champions for the WNBA, they don't know Angel Reese's jersey number. They don't know Asia Wilson's jersey number. They barely know what team she plays for. They could probably recognize her. She did change her hairstyle this year, but they can probably pick her out more than anybody. And I think she does have one of the better shoes that's recently been released, in my opinion. I was trying to get a pair for my daughter, but they have like these all pink that just been sold out. But they have some other variations. But he brought up a good point. They all got exposed, and it's surprising that that joke didn't go as far or didn't trend as long as it should have. But before we, jump to the pay, thoughts, MC?
Those pink Asian Wilsons, they going to be sold out for a long time because our sorority sisters is buying all those up. That's number one.
I didn't know she was sorority either, so that's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah, she's in the sorority.
Mhm.
Number two, the reason why this joke was so relevant, that was ESPN, that was the ESPYs, that was
Yeah,
Entertainment and Sports Programming Network. These are the people that are shoving the WNBA in your face and guilt tripping you for not watching, for not supporting, for not caring about the women's game. These niggas don't even know. They fell for a joke that made them all look stupid and expose them as being hypocrites.
yeah,
So basically, you're shaming the public for supporting a sport that you don't even watch.
yeah,
He just said he picked a black chick intentionally, and he used it to make a perfect freaking joke. And if you are not familiar with Shane Gillis, he does stuff like this all the time. He has a show called Tires, by the way. I believe it's on Netflix. Check it out; it's hilarious. But Shane Gillis has always been like that. He's always hit you with those jokes that point out people's sensitivities and being hypocrites. So this is nothing new for him.
yeah. Speaking of some hypocrisy and sensitivities, so this story was trending about a week ago, and just kind of give you an idea, just read it real quick. The WA All Stars took to court in a warm up shirts, and that read, "Pay us what you owe us." So this was during their All Star game, which a lot of people probably didn't know they were even playing their All Star game, but whatever. Meanwhile, the league lost an estimated 50 million in 2024 alone, and has never reported a profit since its founding in 1997, which is wild to believe that they've been around since 97. What exactly do they believe they're owed? They don't. You don't get rewarded for losing money year after year. They're entitled to nothing. So I agree. Like the way this looks on the surface, it looks like they're asking for some money that they're not bringing in. And I'll tell you this though, and I wish I could find the clip. If I find the clip, I'll play it. Jamel Hill made a very compelling argument about this though. So I'm trying to work on being balanced, guys. So bear with me. So Jamel Hill had this conversation with somebody that said, if the WNBA isn't making money, then how did the Valkyries, Seattle Valkyries, I think that's her name, the one that they just added to the league, the Seattle Valkyries, I think no, Golden State Valkyries. There we go. Got it. There we go. So the Golden State Valkyries was just added to the league, and they've had a valuation of over $500 million. And so her point was, you have the Valkyries valued at $500 million. They were just added a year ago, and then you have three or four more teams getting added later in the next 3 to 4 years. And so this implies that the league is growing. They're trying to get their money. I mean, essentially, the women, the WNBA players, are trying to get their money now. And on some extent, I can understand that, but there's a little more to this. But before I go, MC, thoughts on to what I just said, or at least on the what they owe.
If what Jamel Hill is saying is true, then that means the WNBA has an issue with their books. I can understand her argument because team evaluations is it's a very arbitrary thing, right? And
Mm-hmm.
everybody has a different way of calculating evaluation. Here's my thing with the WNBA. We talked about how they don't make any money. I mean, and they're being subsidized by the NBA.
Right.
Those two things we know for sure based on what's being reported. But I also looked into this and I posted this article to TR. On average, well, let me start with this. Whoever negotiated the WNBA players' revenue split needs to be fired immediately, and they should never negotiate for any type of union ever again.
Wait, and
So,
MC, before you start cooking, I just want to show this real quick. Where the Golden State Valkyries is valued at 500 million, like I said earlier, and then you got the Liberty, you got the Fever, which the Fever, I wonder what they were before Caitlin, Clark got there though. But you can kind of see where where things tend seem to be trending, and Liberty just won the championship too, though.
yeah. So in the WNBA, players receive a portion of the revenue, but it's a fixed percentage that doesn't kick in until they hit a certain metric.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the NBA, no matter what, they take their cut. So that's a terribly negotiated contract. So I posted a Market Watch article based on what I just said about the WNBA. On average, the players' revenue split (TR) is 9.3%. Who negotiated this agreement? Who negotiated this contract? That is terrible, terrible, terrible negotiations.
Yeah.
So going back to what Jamel Hill said again,
Well, honest, hold on. Is it
yeah,
really bad negotiation, or is that all the leverage that they had though? Because you get what you negotiate. So if they didn't have, I mean, we got to be fair though. No one was really paying attention to the WNBA like this until CC got there. I know there were some, some top players, but no one was really like, hey, let's start watching the WNBA before they get there. And I just don't. I mean, yeah, it's a bad contract though, but it's like I don't think they had any leverage. I don't think they could have do anything because that TV contract didn't show up until CC showed up.
okay, that's fine. But do you ever see yourself in a situation where you would take a 9.3% revenue split with anybody? That
Oh no,
basically screams, I take whatever you will give me.
yeah,
So you didn't have any faith that the game was going to grow. You didn't have any faith that you would eventually bring in better talent and the
I don't
game
think they
itself would
did.
evolve and become better.
I don't think they
Who's
did.
so whose fault is that? Why are they shaming the public then? If that's the case, why?
Well, this is something related to a lot of what I hate to say it, but the women, when it comes to accountability, they have see. This is a problem with the WNBA. This is what they should do. They should come out here and say, "Look, unfortunately, we took a bad deal. We want to change the terms of the deal." That's what they should say. The people who set this deal up before us, they made a bad deal. None of them have even come out and said anything like that. So they're trying to stay on code with each other. And with the 9%, yeah, that definitely was a bad deal. They didn't foresee them growing the game. And it's really not the players that just got into the league. It's just the people that were in the league during this deal. So I don't know who was the union rep, but I'm pretty sure they're not the union rep anymore.
And again, I am a watcher of the WNBA. I attend games. I'm here in Phoenix. I watch the Mercury. I watch the Sky. All of that, right? But again, y'all want the same benefits as a man without the same accountabilities. That's always been my problem. I want the game to get better. I want y'all to get paid. But at what point do you say, I messed up? You just heard me say it. We had technical difficulties earlier because I messed up.
Hmm.
If I could do that on something like this, what's stopping y'all from saying, okay, we negotiated a bad deal. It's time to run it back. The game is improving and getting better. More and more people are watching and attending. Let's run it back and renegotiate. Just say
Yeah.
that. Then I could at least, on good faith, say that you're a trustworthy source to listen to. But right now, all we get is this victim stuff, and it's tiring to a lot of people.
Yeah. And the other crazy thing too, when it comes to like having this conversation about the WNBA, because initially I sent you this text related to the Jamel Hill conversation. And on the surface, I was actually there with Jamel Hill. I'm like, damn, Jamel Hill. And hey, I'll call it down the middle. If Jamel Hill is right, she's right. She's been wrong mainly, but this one appeared that she was right. But then I got to thinking, I'm like, there's still something off about this though. So remember that graph I just pulled up. All
Yeah.
right, the Golden State Valkyries at $500 million. So their entry fee was like $50 million. So and I was like, well, what was entry fee before that? Because that seems kind of low for a lot of teams. So the entry fee for the Atlanta Dream, I believe was like 10 million or something like that. It was under 10 million, so it wasn't that high. And so you go from 10 million to 50 million. I'm like, okay, well, that's not that big of a jump though, because the Dream got here in 2008, the Valkyries got here in 2023, and they just had their first season. So I can understand why, okay, there might have been a price increase, but these next couple of teams, their entry fees are over 100 million though, and I think one is maybe 200 million. So I say all that to explain there's something off about all of this though. Honestly, what I think it is, the Golden Valkyries, I think they're trying to hype it up though, because it's fool's gold. Because the Golden State Valkyries, they're located in Golden State though. And I looked at some of the extra events that they do. Do you want to? I mean, do you want to guess who they cater to the most for the Golden State Valkyries?
I mean, they're what in San Francisco, so I'm going to assume the LGBT folks.
Yeah, they cater to a lot of liberals. They cater to a lot of LGBT, and I'm cool with that. Like, hey, get your money how you want to get it, though. But some of these other teams, like Philadelphia, um, I think Cleveland, and then I forget the third team, Detroit. Like, these aren't. I mean, Philadelphia might be super liberal, but they ain't got a strong base that'll show up to a lot of these events to these teams. So they're evaluating the Golden State Valkyries' success, like they can duplicate it in different cities. And I don't think that's the case, though. I think, like I said, it sounds like it's what do you call it? The NFTs. Do you remember the NFTs that were like popular for like 2 years till everyone figured out it was a scam?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same thing with these Golden State Valkyries
Damn, I was looking
because
at TR on some NFT.
yeah, you got scammed, my guy. So when you look at the Golden State Valkyries, can you name one player on the Golden State Valkyries? I mean, it's hard to name a player in general, but do you even remember seeing the Golden State Valkyries trending for anything other than this valuation? Because
No.
I couldn't tell. I had to go look up their roster. I'm like, well, they must be leading in the division. Nope. They're at the bottom. They might not even make the playoffs this year. So I'm like, well, why has everyone been raving about this? And pretty much they've been having a sellout crowd. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. They actually do have a pretty big stadium comparable to the Fever, so it's not like they're in a small like 5,000 stadium, 5,000 seat arena. But they have a good like over 15 18,000 seating. I don't know the exact numbers, but it was something like that. So what I'm saying to all this is that this is all smoke and mirrors. The people that are at the top, they're trying to make a quick buck, so they're trying to get paid early, but they know that this is not sustaining. So they're just trying to get in early because the people that got in early, the Haktua people that got in there early, they're going to make all the money. After the dust clears, there ain't going to be no money to be made for these three expansion teams, 3 or 4 teams coming up. They're not going to make the same money as the Golden State Valkyries. The Golden State Valkyries are being propped up, and it's all by fool's gold. So that's the truth. That's why the WNBA players, as much as money they want to get paid, and if I were them, I would try and strike while the iron's hot as well too. The money really ain't there. The money ain't gonna be there long term. So I don't care what the expansion fees look like. That's that money. Those teams are not going to do good, and it's going to drag down it's going to bring down the product.
Real quick, I'm gonna just dive into In its simplest form, here's how private valuations are typically determined. Financial performance. We've already talked about the WNBA's financial performance.
Yeah, terrible.
Industry and market conditions. There may be an argument there, TR.
Yeah.
Viewership is up. We can debate on what's driving viewership to go up, but that's a different conversation. Growth prospects slash future potential. We
Hmm.
just talked about we expected growth, so there should be future potential. Intellectual property, which is non tangible usually, and customer base, which we've already identified as growing. So Jamel Hill may be onto something, but here's where the WNBA continues to get it wrong. They did not identify who their primary market was. They tried to market it, like as you stated, to the alphabet community. But we've already proven on previous episodes that the WNBA, at least last year, their biggest client base was fathers who were taking their daughters to the game,
Yeah, it's men.
and they were mostly black men. So you missed who your target audience was from the rip.
Hmm. Yeah. And then, the other crazy thing is the majority of you, we wouldn't be having this conversation had it not been for Caitlin Clark. Like Angel Reese, look, I know a lot of people, Angel Reese can be divisive, and Angel Reese is definitely pulling in a little bit activity for her side, main so on the outside of basketball, oddly enough. But Caitlin Clark is what really generates and moves this league for the most part, though. That's where that TV contract was like, hey, we gotta push the brick up. So yeah, you got to give some respect to Caitlin Clark though, but she's really the only one that you can make a case. And maybe there's some, I mean, like I said with Asia Wilson though, there's a conversation we had there. But MC, you got to have you seen Asia Wilson play?
Yeah, she's a monster. She's the truth. She's the best player in
Okay,
the league.
so you're right. She's the best player in her league, though. But there was something we might have to have a separate conversation about this, though, because something about Asia Wilson's game seems kind of off, though. Because I was looking at her numbers, she gets a lot of attempts at the free throw, like more so than any other player. And what she reminds me of is James Harden,
I
who
knew you were
gets to
about
the
to say
free.
that.
Yep, she gets to the free throw line in a very weird way. Like they blow the whistle for Asia Wilson, but they don't blow the whistle. And when I'm even talking about CC, I'm talking about any other player because she just blows them night and day when it. Well, pause. But she just her numbers when it comes to getting to the free throw line is on another chart though. That needs to be studied though, but that's a conversation for another day. But for the most part though, yeah, I think this is all fool's gold. I think the money really, I don't think the money is there or the money that they think is there. Like they want to go from 9% to like 15%. Okay, we can have that conversation. But
No, they
something
want
tells,
50-50 TR.
yeah, I know. I was going to say something tells me they want something above 50. And, it ain't 51. They want,
So, yeah, real quick with Asia Wilson, I hear you, right? But we always talk about results. She's won 2 rings. So
yeah, yeah.
she's got the results. So you
But most
can't
people don't know who Asia Wilson is. That's the crazy
just,
part.
I bring that up because Harden doesn't have any rings. So if you go compare them, is it really a comparison?
No, no, no. I don't mean inside. Well, if we're talking about accomplishments, and I'm still going to say James Harden though. But I'm just saying the play style though, because James Harden he used to get to the free throw line, and there were some conversations that he's found like a cheat code. I'm saying Asia Wilson might be getting to the free throw line as well too, because he might be exploiting, or the referees don't know what a foul is, which most people tend to think that way because CC being manhandled on the court though. So there's some conversations that need to be discussed there about are the refs making the right call though. But I think it's weird though that she's leading the league in free throw attempts. Like that's just wild to me. She's been leading the league in free throw attempts for the last five seasons. MC. Like, I think that's a little crazy, especially in the WNBA. I think that's a little crazy, in my opinion.
I learned something new there, TR. She's damn near averaging a double double. If we being completely honest, she's what people expected Angel Reese to be. And
Yeah,
Angel
true.
ain't quite there yet. I'm looking at Asia's stats right now. Her field goal percentage is hovering right around 50%. So she's not a terrible shooter, and her shot selection
Yeah.
is not the worst.
Again, look at the free throw attempts. It's going to tell you a completely different story. You're going to be
Oh,
like,
I see it.
holy,
I'm looking at it right now. She
yeah,
gets a lot of free throws. You're absolutely right. But she
yeah,
also ain't afraid to go down in the box. So there's that.
yeah. It's like I said, there needs to be another conversation there. But yeah, getting back to the WNBA and should they be paid more? I'm going to say you have a conversation to, I mean, if we're going to say the whole, because you can't say CC should get paid more, but they're never going to make a rule for CC to get paid more, so it has to be the whole league. So I'll say this: yes, you should be able to get paid more, but you guys they're going about it the wrong way. I don't care about they're adding more teams because I think that's fool's goal. I think those are just NFT teams. Honestly, there's people just trying to make a quick buck, double their money or triple their money, and then walk and get out of it. That's what I think. I think that's what ultimately what it'll turn out to be, though. But if they get like maybe 15% share, then it works.
Here's the other thing, TR. These conversations are going to keep happening as long as people like Liz Cambridge can quit the league and do OnlyFans and say that she makes more doing OnlyFans than she does playing in the WNBA.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
at the end of the day, though, I'm not disagreeing with Jamel here. I just kind of want to investigate it a little bit further.
you know what, MC? I gotta be frank with you. Um, if if Cameron Brink, Sophie, or Chloe, what's that chick's name? Chloe Sophie. Damn
Is
it,
it Sophie Cunningham?
Sophie
I think that's
Cunningham.
it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Sophie Cunningham. Look, if they if they went the Liz Cambridge route, I'm telling you right now, they're gonna break the internet. OF might have to go public because um, those two players right there. I mean, even with Angel Reese, I'll have to throw Angel Reese in there because a lot of you ninjas love Angel Reese. If those three women went on the OF route, they're gonna break the OF record. Like I think that was Bad Barbie or whatever, or Bad Baby. But with those three players, it's going to be a different conversation that people, and it's going to be an uncomfortable conversation that people don't want to have. But yeah, you're right. It's still available. So
And who are the biggest consumers of OFTR?
married
Married
men.
men. Yeah.
Yep, married men have been saving these 304. Married men been saving these 304s for as long as I can remember. They save them. They put their kids to they save the women on the poles, so they put their kids clothes, or get them to buy kids clothes. They keep the OF market still going. Weird conversation, but it's the truth.
Oh yeah, simpage is always gonna be its own economy for sure.
Yeah.
Simping ain't easy.
Yeah. So, yeah, good conversation on WNBA. So we'll see what comes out. I think they gotta have some decision here soon, though. So we'll have an update as soon as we can. So,
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna jump to the next topic. We're going to politics.